All right, so we switched over to the SAS theme, so we can take a look at what Katie has been working on. I don't know how much Megan was in on this one. And the question came up was, don't know how to take the SAS implemented in the material theming. And, what I'm trying to point out is that using SAS and using material theming are two separate equations. Okay. What I see in here is SAS, but it's set up to apply a material theme. Okay. So things like you're seeing here, this font config, this is essentially an array. Okay. And any of these variables and things, if you've got it imported, I'm not sure if use is the right direction now. If these are brought in through the global theming, number one, it's going to apply to all of our components, which I'm assuming is what you're seeing, right? The buttons are changing and that kind of stuff. Okay, the background wouldn't change because we had manually applied a change for that. So if we want a one-off change, we don't have to go back to here to get it. I could just as easily come back here and say, okay, I want to use this dark divider. What is the value for that? Oh, it's an RGBA of the dark primary text 0.214. So what's the dark primary text? Well, the dark primary text is somewhere. I don't know where it is at the moment, but let's see if we can. Oh, so here it is. So it's based off the dark text. So it's an RGBA of that of 0.87, which is that. And yeah, you'd have to plug it in someplace in all these steps to figure out what the actual RGBA value is of that final set. But if you're looking at a component that has what you want, just copy it. Right? Because the current tooling in when you're looking at components allows you to switch between. I can look at it as RGB, I can look at it as this type, I can look at it as this type. So you can calculate it. Eventually it'll show you what its value is, right? No, all we need is the theming applied. So if this themes 2 is being applied, I'm assuming I'm making an assumption here. I'm assuming you're applying that through the
Angular.
Where's the styles CSS?
It's in the same folder. I'm not sure if that's the way to do it or not.
Yeah. No, it's fine if you want to stick in the folder. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking for that up a level.
And just to point out here, I've done like the override and I changed it to yellow just to like make it super obvious.
Yeah.
And that was not overriding, for instance. Because
where did you try and use it?
I tried to use that in the grade level selection.
Okay, let's spin it up.
SCSS.
Right. Let's open a terminal. I mean, the reality is I was showing you something with this. I don't know
Yeah,
you have to do it that way. I mean, if I
Right.
want to say that a button is yellow, what's hard on that component and saying that button is yellow? Because it's a global, we should be able to apply it. So where did we try and apply that?
I tried it in
buttons are green.
I tried it in the grade level selection for the selected buttons.
Grade level selection for the selected button. Okay, so what's now showing is black.
Right.
Okay.
So just trying to figure out how it all works together.
Okay, let's figure it out. I'm not 100% sure. We'll figure it out. So we're going to scan. There's our button. And it's using, okay, so what you have is the var override selected.
Oh.
But the variable is override selected by color.
Yeah.
By background color. So if we go into our, no, it's a feature, right?
So it's just the wrong name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Supposedly, we're going to find out.
And then we're also getting this little thing in the bottom about how the theme is probably written out. Okay. There we go. How the theme is written out incorrectly, kind of. It's saying like,
I saw that.
okay. because this was from a generator, but it's like material like 13 plus.
Okay.
So it could be that
Should be
something's
created from a map containing color, typography, density. A color value should be a map containing palette values for primary accent worn. So theming, private legacy, get theme, content, use root. So you can see it's coming through styles to theme. Then it's going to all component private content, blah, 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 all the way down. So forget about that for the moment. Let's go back to our styles. So we're coming through styles and you're bringing in themes too, which is where it's going to themes too, right?
right.
And so that mat is the weird thing that does all its weird little things. So dark theme, light theme stuff. Okay. This is all set up at this point.
Well, and there's an
Darker,
example of this
lighter.
like color key. We have that on our if you go into themes without the two.
Mhm.
Where we've gotten it from other places where it's like, here's our theme and we have color, we have
Mhm.
this list, but we were just not successful at getting that to hook up.
Okay. It's all right. Hang on. We'll get there. Okay.
Okay.
One step at a time. So what are we looking for? Color, typography, and density. So accents, body, warning. You can see some of these pieces that it's looking for. So in the palette, it's looking for primary accent worn. And we just saw accent, right? There's primary. So we got primary, we got accent, we got worn. So then our theme has a primary accent and worn, is background, is foreground. Which my guess is that's color. And we need typography and density, which I don't know what those are. So you got theme and alt, that's probably your foreground background. We're initializing the theme with theme. And so I think where your warning is, your site might be working off a slightly older version, might be,
Right.
in that it's looking for a map of color key density and all you've got is colors. So your theme has primary accent worn, which is what we're talking about here for the color. So it sounds like it's a layer off. Now, were we getting errors on this one when you use the themes non-two?
Yes. Oh, well, Megan, were we?
No, well, we got it to work without errors, but
Mhm.
we weren't able to change the color in the components using that for some reason. So, but we weren't getting like any of this yellow.
You weren't getting any of what?
We weren't getting any of these errors that are showing right now,
Yeah,
yellow ones.
but
But it wasn't showing in like the component, for example, when we tried using primary, secondary accent, we couldn't get it to render the right color.
oh, so no errors, but it didn't work.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right, that's okay. Okay, so what I see here, see this HTTAT theme color, primary, secondary accent worn. That's what it's looking for here.
Right.
Okay, so this is it should be your key color. It's already got it. So this probably needs typography and density added to it. So then it's also creating a primary, secondary accent worn. So it looks like a couple of things have been tried in this one. So where is this then coming from?
Our color palettes.
Yeah, originally these were being pulled from.
Yeah, but you're not getting errors because you commented out everything you're using in there. So I think that's where part of that is coming from. Let's see if we can figure out some of this on the other one. Okay, so here, I think you're in the right direction here. I think we're very close to what you needed there. And so what if we did something like this? And primary is theme primary. Secondary. Primary accent worn.
Just a note that like this theme that was generated only has primary accent and worn. It doesn't have a secondary. So we'd have to add that as well.
Okay. Well, watch this. I'll create a secondary. There we go. Right. And a worn. And we can do the, I mean, these could be added. I don't know that it hurts anything to add them in there, right?
Yeah,
So that gives us a theme in the patterning they're talking about here. We don't
okay.
have the typography, we don't have the density, but you did have typography. This is the
Right.
font config, so that should be typography, right?
Yeah, does it want us to put like typography and then
Inside of it.
another
That's
set of
what I'm-
parentheses?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Okay,
What I'm
that's
thinking
neat.
is you need something like
actually, we had something similar to that set up.
and then I don't know what density is. There's nothing even in your file that says density. I don't see it.
Oh,
We have density in here once,
yeah,
but it's
see,
0. Okay, so let's put that in.
Yeah, we used to have typography for the
Yeah.
light theme. Yeah. Mhm.
So then our new one we're building is here. That's fine. So let's see if this HTTAT theme. So then we just have to apply this wherever we're using this, right? In theory, it should be something like this. I'm guessing. Let's see if we get rid of our errors. Well, that's taking longer to spin up. And we got errors. Might be erroring on this one.
Yeah, you could probably just get rid of that one for now, if we need to, or just.
Look at that, no errors. Now the question becomes then, are our buttons changing as we expect them to change, right? So as we look at our components, so let's go back to this grade level selection. And grade level selection is a matte raised button, color primary. What is our primary color? I don't even know what your primary color is here.
Yeah, it's like the indigo. Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it
the
should
indigo
be this color,
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it's purple. Maybe
Yeah.
purple.
554 AC3.
Mhm.
All right, so let's look at this then and inspect. There's our button. Background color is that MDC protected button container color. That's annoying. Let's look at it as computed. And the computed, I thought there was a way to.
It actually showed you back there down at the like the fourth thing down.
Fourth thing.
Oh, if you go back to the styles at the top here, yeah. And then if you go to like it says 544 AC3 button theme.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that looks like those are identical. So that tells me that's applying. Let's take a look at this crawl, walk, run, which is the assistance that is using accent. So if we look at your accent, wait, look at your accent. That's your accent. Primary accent color is that horrible greenish color, which really looks right. They're changing
Yeah.
to match what you said. Now, things like that override, yes, we can store the override in these styles that then could be used for here and here. Right? So let's change our override and put it in both places. So clean this up a little bit. I think you've got it. I think what you've got here is great.
Okay, and we can change any colors to whatever you actually want.
You guys are building the theme. You guys decide what it's going to be. Right?
I know, but if you hate that horrible green color, we can't.
These can go away. And if you look, your theme primary, theme accent, theme worn, is dark. The only thing that's different is the is dark. So we
Okay.
could probably create that alt HTTAT theme off of this one just by changing that and see what it does. I don't know. I don't know if the is dark does anything. It may not. Okay, so I don't know if it matters or too much. I'll leave that in for now. But the bigger one to change here then, to see if we've got things the way we want them, is in the style. So this is the parent file. Let's change that to a green, just a regular green, right? And it's the overridden selected background color, which we know is going to change the first one. But let's see if we can change the grade level as or the assistance. Yeah, assistance selection as well. So that's going to be in here. And that background color is currently green. And so let's make it blue for now, just to verify that it's working right. Okay, so there's the green we originally had, right? We want to change that to green by using the var. There we go. Now we've got a predefined alternate that's not necessarily a part of the theme. It doesn't have to be a part of the theming. I'm okay with that. Same time, we have the override selected background color. Do we want an override selected border, override selected color? To bring all three of those pieces through at the same time. You know, I don't know that that's a part of what you guys are doing here. I think what you did in getting the theme working was great. And I think you were really, really, really close to what you needed. I think that's awesome. Thoughts? That's quite a look, Katie.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, when you're like, why isn't this working?
Mhm.
You know, and then you're like, why is this working?
Mhm.
Well, and we had like a secondary palette and we can add that to the current thing that's working.
Mhm.
It's also just wrapping our heads around like two new languages
Sure.
that are, you know, being embedded into a third new language. And
Mhm.
like, so we're just, because of we're putting the color with the theme, it's taking that in, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
if you don't have the color indicated, what happens to those things? Are they just the normal basic colors?
Mhm.
Or does it just get applied?
That's the whole idea of a theme. Yeah, if you don't put it
Okay.
on there, there's no saying what you get.
Okay.
Right. The nice part here is we can do raised buttons, flat buttons. They're all going to stick to whatever color scheme we pick. Okay. You've got this idea of light theme, dark theme, foreground and background. Right. And it looks like they're the same. Because I'm looking at that elevation, they're both black. Although I see dark dividers, I see base is black there, base is light texture. So those are kind of right. But we're really, honestly, we're not using much of the dark light at the moment. We just kind of decided we're going to go dark. Although I had a question on going dark. There was somebody that had posted a survey asking if students prefer dark or light mode when they're doing video. And somebody had said that folks that have visual issues have much harder time with dark than light.
Yeah, the contrast issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, for accessibility, it'd be good to have options.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only made it dark just to work on it because I hate
Yeah.
light theme myself.
Well, then one of the things you need to plug in for us, Catalan, is a switcher dark light that saves your settings and local storage or something like that, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, we're going to switch to light for now and leave it there. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. But here's the nice part is you've got all these things that are built up that are providing different colors. And really our core comes in when you start to see these theme configurations where, you know, here's our primary. We can start changing these colors. If we want this blue, if we want the green, if we want the red, if we want the Well, we only have the three, so we need a secondary to be defined, right? So, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to take, here's how we define primary. How do we create a secondary color? Well, you copy
Right.
that, and you change primary to secondary, and you start changing your colors and figure out what you want.
And like above that, there were some categories for like selected button. How would you actually apply those, or does that just automatically apply?
It does that. You don't have to worry.
Okay, that's
Forget
what,
about
like,
all that up above.
okay.
Right. So yeah, this is based on, look at what we're doing here. We got the primary color, primary lighter, primary darker, our text primary color, which is based on the light primary text, dark primary text, and light primary text. What it seems weird that lighter would be. So those are to some degree based on some of what's up here, in particular the light versions. Okay. But that primary lighter, darker color, those are the big keys in there, the main lighter, darker. And those are your big ones that happen.
So for instance, though, when looking at the selected button, like let's say we always want the selected button to be a certain color, we
Mhm.
can go above and just change that right there and it'll
Mhm.
automatically be applied.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then if we want to override that, we can use those root
One-offs.
variable. Okay.
Yeah, we can use a root variable, we can hard code it in. I'd rather use the root over time, but as you're developing, you throw something in there and you get it working, and then you go back and say, hey, do we have something for this scenario that I can use? The second time we do that, the second time we got something hard coded like that, we create a variable or a series of variables for that scenario. So in this case, we had to. Make sense to create a variable. If it were only one, just leave the green in there, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I just didn't know if like, because if we're making these defaults essentially, you know, and then I didn't understand like how it was actually applying. But
Okay.
makes
This
sense.
this is how you learn. These things are a pain. They really are. I mean, I've done it how many times now, and the problem is you do it when you're starting a project, and you never touch it again after that. It usually takes me about 2 weeks, so your time frame is not far off, and you've got something that works.
Well,
I
I
wouldn't.
feel
I wouldn't.
use this
I wouldn't.
generator.
Well, I wouldn't nitpick it now, and don't worry if you look at this 3 months down the road and going, I don't remember what the hell I did. I mean, that's going to happen.
Mhm.
You know, for me, it's like annual, if not every other year, that I end up doing something like this. So I kind of expected the struggles you were going to go through a little bit. I'm okay with that. That's learning, right? I'm assuming you guys learned something.
Yeah,
Okay.
A lot of what not to do. Yeah.
And
a lot of
theming
what doesn't
is-
work.
Theming's challenging, right? I mean, there's a lot that goes on with the theming. I'm going to push up what I've got here. Just this. How's that sound?
Nice.
I'm adding myself to the material color scheme card,
Okay, that's cool.
just so you ladies are aware.
You have one more person to yell at when it's not working right.
Nice.
Right?
I blame you, Catalan.
Yeah, I just didn't want to add the whole issue and then be like, have fun with it.
They're going to make you work hard, I have a feeling.